This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Get in here. We mean it. Welcome to our house on the Grand Ole Opry Plaza, where Kelly Sutton will be in just a few hours with a Tuesday night line. You got your Tuesday night line up?
I do. Yeah, it's going to be a good show tonight. We got a lot of people that are going to be making their way to the big red curtain, hanging out with us. Daly and Vincent, Amethyst Kia, Vincent Mason, Connie Smith, Marty Stewart, Gary Mule Deer. I haven't seen him in a minute, so I'm happy he's doing well and is back. And Darius Rucker.
That is tonight's Tuesday Night Opry from the Opry Plaza, the Acuff House Studio. That is our home. You can take a tour of our museum exhibit that's attached to the studio as a part of your Opry tour. Behind the airwaves, the rich, rich history of nearly 100 years of WSM radio and the Grand Ole Opry.
Mm-hmm. Rich history. Sometimes it was poor, but most of the time it was rich. You look back there, you're like, yeah, okay.
No place on earth had the collection of characters at any given moment that this place has had.
That's very
over the
true.
last 100 years.
That's very
collectively,
true.
I'm telling you. Including, we were playing Lefty Frizzell a little bit earlier because Cody Jinks is bringing Lefty to another generation.
Right.
And I'm very excited about that. You've got entertainment. I know you're going to tease ahead, but you've also got a dear friend who's joining us in just a little bit.
I do. We've been talking about it for a while, Baking Memories for Kids. It's my favorite charity, and Frank Squeo is back with us. He landed. We got him here in time. He is in town, and we're going to be doing a surprise later on stage of the Grand Ole Opry, which is just like all of our dreams come true because I really wanted all of my worlds together, and this is happening today.
So you got him a room at the big motel?
I did. He got lost, and he cussed me a little bit because it's a big place. He said he was like, I don't know where I am.
You're nobody till you've been lost in the Opryland Hotel. I can tell you that.
Extra cardio. It's part of the service we
steps.
provide with your booking at Gaylord Opryland.
Extra steps, 15 miles, and that's just to get to your room. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you want more information on how you can be a part of the charity, we're going to tell you about it. Now is the time. If you're looking for gifts, this is the best way to do it because you get to give a gift, but you're also receiving a gift in return because you're making a donation to Baking Memories for Kids.
Well, this is like the only child's best gift.
It really is.
Where you give a gift, but you get one.
Yeah. You're giving
one for
a
you,
gift.
one for me.
One for you, one for me. It's perfect.
Baking Memories, the number 4 kids.
Yes.
.com.
Yeah, and let me tell you, they baked so many cookies this weekend. So buy cookies, y'all. Y'all need to go buy some cookies because I think over 250,000. Over 250,000 cookies, he just told me they made this weekend. So they got cookies to sell, y'all. Buy some cookies.
Frank's just off camera. It's like a human teleprompter over there for Kelly.
It's like
Well, we'll have to ask if this year's batch is better than last year's batch, which the Suttons participated in baking.
In fact,
So we'll have to see the
know.
comparison.
we have the videotape of it.
they probably are, if I'm being honest.
She put Paul and Reese to work in that kitchen.
This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
And well, it's like having an old friend in the living room, isn't it?
Right.
Frank Squeo comes calling. Baking Memories for Kids. We turn today's dreams into tomorrow's memories. Mm-hmm. Our mission at Baking Memories for Kids, right there on the homepage, is to take that moment and make it last forever. And there is a beautiful picture of you going, oh, like frozen in time with a little girl who total surprise with her little hand tipped on her face.
Yep.
So what was the moment for that homepage picture, Frank? Do you know what that you remember?
You know, it's every single time I'm blessed to be able to stand in front of a family and look at that child in his or her eyes and then look up at mom and watching mom and dad crying.
Yeah.
Happy tears instead of sad tears when they found out their child was so sick. But now they're envisioning walking through the gates of Magic Kingdom and just seeing their children be children. So I'm always so joyous when those words get to come out of my mouth. You're going to Disney World. You're going to SeaWorld. You're going to Universal Studios. It's just a blessing.
It's so fun. I've known Frank now for years. We have become family at this point.
We are. Yep.
And I love this story. For people that aren't familiar, tell everyone how this got started because it started from a place of you were really scared for yourself and your own health.
Absolutely. You know, you plan your life out, and I said, okay, these are my mile markers, and at 45 and blah, 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 I'm going to do this. And then all of a sudden, God throws a little wrench in the plans. Found a lump in my neck, and it was only by a miracle that I had met people when I was much, much younger. And they made a call to hospitals, because it's a pretty long story, but I was able to survive a very advanced stage 3 testicular cancer. And it's one of the quiet ones where you don't know you have it until there was a lump in my neck. By the time it got to my neck, it was already through my entire body. The cancer was so advanced they couldn't go in to do surgery. So within 2 or 3 days, they did 2 surgeries, and then I immediately went into aggressive chemo. And I was able to survive it. And I knew that there was a bigger plan for me to have had miracles line up in my life to survive that. And I also knew that always giving back to children, when I was a kid, I've always sponsored children all over the world. It was the plan to help people going through what I'm going through, but help the children. Give them memories that they might not have if it wasn't for an organization like mine. So very simply, I've always made these really great cookies. I have a company in New York, and I give them out over the holidays, great corporate gifts. I said, okay, instead of making a couple thousand cookies, we're going to make millions. And I started this little nonprofit called Baking Memories for Kids, and we get a bunch of people together. We make a lot of cookies. We sell them between now and Christmas, and we use every single dollar to fund these trips. We are as core nonprofit as you're ever going to get. There is no staff here. This is me and my cousin run the whole foundation, and then we give trips away. Yeah. We're going to give one today. I just came back. I just gave 4 away last week from Phoenix to Boston to St. Louis. We gave a trip away, guys, that weekend went into a school auditorium, a girl who has cerebral palsy. She's wheelchair bound, dynamic girl. It's just you fall in love with her as soon as you meet her. Her mom has stage 4 brain cancer.
Oh, wow.
And she's a single parent.
Wow.
Take a breath and think of the enormity of that trip.
Yeah.
For both of them.
Yeah.
Because mom is most likely not outlive her child. So now her sister, who's only 17 or 18, is going to raise her. And how important is it that we're standing in front of them telling them that they're going to go for a full week down to Florida to create memories for everybody, all because people bought cookies. Doesn't get better.
What was the response from the student body when you made
They were the loudest group I have ever heard. Because you know what? They see this girl every day and they just love her.
Yeah.
And they were so happy, hugging her, and just so many tears were in that auditorium. But that was a real impactful one for me because we've never had a situation where it was a single parent and that single parent has advanced stage cancer. So I knew leaving that auditorium that was almost like a double wish.
Yeah.
And so important.
Yeah.
And I just beg people, please, please, the only way we raise money is by selling these cookies. Mm-hmm. Kelly's been with us last year. She helped bake. And we made 250,000 cookies this past weekend.
Wow.
Whoa.
That I need your audience to know, we have to sell them.
You were like, yeah, we made 250,000. Now we got to sell them. And he brought some for us to sample. Did. This is the best part when Frank comes. Not only are we fulfilling wishes in Nashville and are we selling cookies, but we also get to eat a little bit too. Mm-hmm. And they're really good.
How old were you when you were diagnosed, Frank?
45. And
what was your professional track before that?
I worked down in the city in Wall Street, and I had a pool company. When I was 16, I started taking care of people's swimming pools. And I've had that. I still have it. I'm 63 now. I'm still taking care of people's pools in New York and New Jersey. I do that in the summer. This is a perfect gig because that ends, and then this starts. Yeah. So it was a perfect fit. But it was life-changing for me to go through a cancer like that. I mean, I literally couldn't walk up a flight of stairs.
How long was this process for you?
It was 3 months of aggressive chemo.
Yeah.
To where within 1 week, you feel like you've aged 40 years. Mm-hmm. I had to sleep on the couch. I couldn't get up a flight of stairs. That's how advanced. And I was perfectly healthy before that started.
Wow. And how many families have you helped now?
We're so excited. Like, you guys excited to move into your new studio? And by the way, you guys could not look any better. I mean, could not look any better. I think you guys get younger every year as I get older. We are crossing the 300 family mark this year.
Wow.
Like, to me, my God, I just take a breath and I think of 300 families.
Mm.
How do you find them?
They come to us.
Wow.
You know, they're listening to this station right now, and somebody's finding out that their child might have 3 months or 6 months to live. They're going to write to us or go on our website where they can go buy cookies. And right there's a link that they can nominate their own child. And you know, we've lost over probably 20 families of children, and you know, we sent a little girl last year. She was only supposed to live to May. She was 2 years old, And thank God she's on some better medicine and she's doing a little better. But when you lose a child, it's horrible. It's like losing my own child.
I'm misty-eyed right now. Are you constantly crying?
Always.
Because I'm like misty-eyed right now, and I would think this would be my life all the time, right? Yeah.
I was so worried in the beginning to get emotional about the kids and stuff, but it's impossible not to.
Right.
Yeah.
From sheer exhaustion, to be honest with you, because I am literally running when Thanksgiving comes, Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's basically 1 hour in my head because there's no minutes. Flying, giving the trips away, going home, going to Costco, spend $15,000 on ingredients, tractor trailering them over. 150 people a day come and bake the cookies.
Yeah.
I speak at those events, and I look out and I see 150 angels looking back at me crying because I'm telling them about what they're doing. They're making my dream and these families' dreams come true by helping us do what we do.
Was last year your first year to take your
Last year
family
was the
and bake?
first year that we baked. We wanted to go again this year, but Reese was in Tech Week, so we couldn't go. And I was very sad about that. But I got updates and I got pictures. So you're seeing the pictures and video from our friends that were there. It's life-changing to be a part of this organization. And I've told him, he knows, this is my charity forever until I take my last breath. We're ride or die now. So Baking Memories for Kids is there. And then we've got some really good friends. Jake Hoot has come on board.
Absolutely.
Today we have a surprise guest who's going to join us on stage at the Grand Ole Opry, who's been there and just had a #1 hit.
Oh,
So they will be there
okay.
to surprise this family. And today we are honoring a family from White Bluff, a teacher and her husband, and they have 2 little girls. And we don't want to give too much away, but they're going to be coming in. They think that they're just getting a tour of the Opry, and then when they hit the stage, he's coming out with Mickey Mouse.
And let's just top it off, Dan Rogers. Let's make them members.
Yeah,
There we go.
there
Right
it is.
there.
There it is.
There it is.
I think we should. But real quick, before anybody goes, if you're watching and you're a part of an organization, or if you have some corporate gifts, you have a special that's going on online right now.
Yeah, right now, anybody that goes to the website and buys, we have free shipping all over the country for all retail orders. You could ship them anywhere. They are the best gifts you're ever going to give, with meaning. They open up the container, they could see the pictures of the kids. And we're a nonprofit. So honestly, it's the only Christmas gift that you can get that you can write off on your taxes, because it is fully a nonprofit. Corporations that are thinking, how can we give something special to our customers? It's the best corporate gift you're ever going to give. You just got to email us and we'll get back to you within hours. We'll ship them all over the country. We put your gift message inside the box. You guys just give us addresses, and I guarantee your customers will be so grateful and so excited that you're teaming up with an amazing organization that's sending terminally ill children to Disney World.
Baking Memories, the number 4, kids.com. And you have 4 opportunities: donate, purchase cookies, corporate gifting, which you referenced, and volunteering, which is what Kelly and her family did.
And monthly donors. You can be a monthly donor. That's an easy way
Or
to do it.
sponsor a family. We have many people that sponsor a whole family, so they go on the surprise with me. They see it, stand right next to me as their kids get told they're going on this amazing trip.
Yeah.
Frank Squeo, you are in the league of extraordinary gentlemen.
Yes.
You are.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for
sir.
coming to see us.
This is WSM's Coffee, Country, and Cody.
As your primary care physician for travel, I don't normally recommend winter, but I am in this case. TNTrailsandByways.com. If you go to TNTrailsandByways.com, you can get off the beaten path and take the scenic route, not just for Thanksgiving and now we got Christmas and the New Year, but winter time, in the big middle of winter before we know it. And if you just type in the search word, keyword, winter, when you get to TNTrailsandByways.com, first page, winter getaways in Tennessee, all the things you can do. Charming cabin getaways in Tennessee, romantic winter getaways. Wonder what goes on there. And you just keep scrolling. Family vacation plans. A winter getaway in Cookeville is recommended, and that's the end of page 1. And there are like 10 pages of winter references that pop up just like that.
Well, Bill is your PCP. The beauty of the website is there is no copay. And seriously, I say this all the time, but it is so true. If you're a Nashvilleian or Middle Tennessean and maybe just looking for, we got a free Saturday, let's just do something we don't normally do. They're perfect for that kind of out-of-the-box day trip. But if you're watching on CircleCountry.com, going to come hang with us for a week or so, even better, because hundreds and hundreds of great ideas, no matter what part of the state you want to visit. TNTrailsandByways.com.
Including the ultimate guide to dog-friendly places in Tennessee, no matter what time of year.
Now
you're
that's
traveling.
important, yeah.
Very much is. TNTrailsandByways.com. Stand out on the scenic route. Kelly Sutton, What you talking about?
Oh, well, we have the Baking Memories for Kids cookies that are sitting here.
Oh,
And
those are
I know we've
good.
all had them. They're pretty good, right? But here's just a little caveat. If you do have some cookies and then you forget and you leave them in your car, and let's say you're going to Gatlinburg, you need to lock your car doors, not because thieves are coming to steal your cookies, but because bears know how to open your car. This happened to the Aldines. So picture it, Brittany, Jason, the family, the extended family, they all get a cabin, they go to Gatlinburg, and this is what happened.
We currently have bears in our cars.
Yeah, they tear it up.
Oh my God. In our They can open the doors. We didn't know that. They're in our cars. No. Un momento.
Oh, the car.
Why is the door open? He opened it.
Whose car is that?
Hunter's.
Is there more than one of it? Could be.
I don't know.
Or is that Jerry? Jerry, is that your car?
Oh my God, that's our car.
He's in there.
And the bear just crawls out, and it's a little cub. But yeah, the funniest part is, whose car is that? Hunter's. The bear knew his name was Hunter. He was like, you know whose car I'm going to mess up? That boy who's named Hunter.
I tell you one thing.
See what you're doing.
I came in here to give me some French fries. I smell French fries, but look, there's some cookies in here.
There's cookies. That's just it. I didn't realize bears could open doors either. And I mean, they really are. They're in Gatlinburg. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. You're in their home in the mountains. So just be warned, if you're going, don't leave food in the car. Don't leave food outside. Lock everything up.
You got a two-door Fiat, this is not a problem.
Right.
They do not. They just avoid my car completely. They know there can't be anything in there. I can't fit in that thing, and there's no food in there. So
I
So
would
if you
pay
got a-
money to see a bear in a Fiat. That would be hilarious.
Try this little tiny Fiat. So what you're telling me is if you come up with a bear in your car, you're just going to play dead.
Right.
yeah,
Is that what you're supposed
I'm
to do?
signing over the title and just giving it to the bear at that point.
It would look like the bear was wearing your car.
Oh yeah, be like Dino on the Flintstones, where the head pops through the roof. Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff.
So funny. All right. More entertainment headlines coming up later.
More coffee, country, and Cody is on WSM.
With Kelly Sutton and Charlie Mattos, we welcome from the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum, writer and editor there at the Hall, R.J. Smith. We made fast friends, catching up already, telling stories about famous folks whom you have written about and spent time with.
It's a pleasure to be here today.
Great
Good
to
morning.
see you. Yeah. So Detroit by birth, born and
Yes.
raised there?
Yes, indeed. Motor City, grew up as a music fan, whole different kind of music, and slowly got pulled in this direction.
And wound up in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I went to Los Angeles, was there about 30 years. Traffic got worse. It's
So
not
you
getting
moved
better.
here? This is
It's
not a great
getting
traffic
better.
town.
This is true, but I'll tell you what, it's you don't have traffic jams at 2 a.m.
That's true. That is very true. How did you find your way to the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum?
Wow. Well, I think I'm a music lover. I write about all different kinds of music and how people talk to each other through the recordings and through sound. And I just someone made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Nice.
I was ready for a change. As I say, the traffic, L.A. my rug had been worn out.
Good.
So what was the biggest cultural adjustment from Los Angeles to Nashville for you?
Oh, it's the nice people.
Yeah, they are friendly out in L.A. No.
Is there a food item that you were introduced to?
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. I'm a little soft on spicy food, so when it comes to spicy chicken, I go slow.
Okay, good. Yeah. That's the best way to try it. So I would love to know the parallels that you have found in different genres of music that you never realized were somehow connected to country. Because now being steeped in country music, it is like this really cool tree that everything kind of branches from.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the whole thing about genre, the blues is a genre, country is a genre, all these things, they're useful to help us understand music, but they blur and they blend.
Well, we got country music from the blues.
Sure.
And there's something that goes both ways in all that stuff. And we kind of forget that because we kind of get in our silos.
Well, let's catch up on Roseanne Cash's life and career and the exhibit that is on. It'll be on through March of 2026. So long run for her. Rosanne Cash, Time is a Mirror, open now. And the exhibit tells the story of her 40-year career as an artist, a songwriter, a storyteller. And what did you learn along the way?
Oh my gosh. Well, it was really wonderful to work with Rosanne, who was super engaged. You could ask her a question about her life in the morning and have a long conversation all afternoon about it with her. Mm-hmm. She's a really creative force. She came in the early 80s, really was one of the key artists for me and for lots of people in that whole decade. Lots of hits, a Grammy Award, but she constantly is reinventing herself. Yeah. By the 90s, she was kind of making a different kind of music, reaching a new audience. She never settles, and that really fascinates me.
That King's Record Shop album was the one that kind of really launched her as far as commercial success was concerned.
Well, that was her last big commercial album, and she took the success she had there, and she said, okay, I'm going to do what I want to do now and change directions. And she threw listeners and her label and everybody a curve, and then she kept going.
Every artist wants to throw their label a curve.
Oh, yeah. Well, and King's Record Shop as much for the music as for that iconic cover. I mean, everybody can picture the cover of that album.
You know what's amazing about that cover that I did not know until working on this. So it's a classic, peaceful picture of Rosanne posing in front of this record store, King's Record Shop.
And it's in Louisville, downtown Louisville, just a few blocks from where I worked at WHAS Radio.
I think Pee Wee King's brother owned it.
Yeah.
And but they took a picture of the record shop. She wasn't there. So they photoshopped her. It was before Photoshop. Yeah. I don't know what they called it, but they dropped her in there. And then by the time the album came out, she was standing in front of the record store.
Oh, that's awesome.
I hope that she frequented the shop after that.
You would think, right?
You would think. Yeah. Have to stand by. Yeah. So what was something about Rosanne that you found out in putting this all together that really shocked you?
Shocked me. Wow. Just how hard it is how hard it is to be successful and sane when you're born into such a famous family.
Yeah.
She talked a lot about that, and that's a part of the exhibition. And, I give her major credit. I can't think of anybody who, I don't have fame. If you don't have fame, you wonder what it's like. Yeah. And she has had it all her life, and it's complicated. Yeah. But she's thrived.
Well, particularly the marriage, when you think about the years with Rodney Crowell.
Yeah.
And the children.
Yeah.
And then her husband of many years now, John Leventhal, who's an extraordinary guitar talent.
He is great.
Yeah.
There's lots of pieces to the whole story, and she doesn't settle. She is engaged. She's looking for new audiences. She's gone from hits in the 80s, many hits, one of the major hit makers in country music in the 80s, to Grammys as an Americana artist.
11. Let's see. What did I see there? I pulled it up here a little bit earlier. It was 11 number ones and 4 Grammys.
Yeah.
Wow.
Something like that.
Now, in your position, you almost hope that the person you're spotlighting is a pack rat bordering on a hoarder. Was Rosanne pretty good about having a lot of stuff?
Jackpot.
Yeah.
Yes. This is the first exhibit I've worked on. I'm a writer. I sit in a room and nobody bothers me. This is a completely reaching out, communicating process for me. And she invited us into her home, and for several days, she's going through the stuff. I think they did want to get some of it out of the house. But she's like, oh, here's a letter. Let me tell you the story about why my dad wrote this letter. Or here's the lyrics to that song that was a hit. All this stuff. It was amazing.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
More on the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum this morning. And our special guest and longtime friend, Lisa Purcell, just sat down here in the Acuff House studio on the Grand Ole Opry Plaza. What a view as it relates to the history of country music and what you do every day for a living.
It is the most wonderful time of the year and the most wonderful place to be. We're looking at the Opry House all decorated from Mr. Acuff's vantage point. It's pretty great.
Yeah. Lisa's the Executive Vice President of External Affairs. And pay what you want. What's gotten into you people at the Country Music Hall?
Oh, thank you for asking. We're always creative, and we're always dedicated certainly to serving a global audience, but local too. Gosh, we have such a heart for our hometown. So if you live in Nashville, Davidson, or any of the bordering counties throughout the entire month of January, the 1st through the 31st, you can come to the museum and pay what you want, including nothing, to enjoy all of the exhibitions, all of the great things that RJ shared with you. Roseanne Cash's newest, there's Luke Combs, there is Western Edge, which looks at the country rock movement from the 60s to the 80s. There's American Currents, the last year, Country Music and Review, and just the whole history of the music, even an R&B exhibit about Nashville. So there's truly something for everyone, and we hope people will come and check it out if they haven't.
I just heard an interview with Buddy Miller, Sean Camp, and Verlin Thompson, and they referenced Guy Clark's workshop. Tell me more about that.
Gosh.
Because they said it is, and nobody was closer than that group of people to Guy. Particularly Verlin.
Yes. So the wonderful museum services team knows his workshop, and you may know Guy's record Songs from the Workman Bench. Literally was building guitars, building songs, and disassembled his workroom, which is the creative hub, and reassembled it painstakingly in the museum, from where a CD or a cassette tape was placed to where he was working on a guitar. It's all there. So you get a little moment at the Workman's Bench with Guy, which couldn't feel more special.
And they say it smells just like it did when you went to the house.
How is that possible?
Well, this is the part where I do external affairs and am not a curator, so I haven't been in the room. I'm standing on the opposite side of the glass going, gosh, that's so cool.
Listen, I went to Guy's house once, and I interviewed him, and there were a lot of cigarettes. So I do wonder
that was
if
part of
that
what they
was
were talking
part
about.
of
The
the
ashtray
aroma.
is there.
It
and
is?
The ashtray is a gift from another artist and sort of has skulls on it as a deterrent. So yeah, you can really feel the personality and the humanity and the creativity in that space. So if you haven't seen it, it's definitely something to check out.
Wow. Well, it's the perfect time too, because for us that have children, when they are out of school, that time period starting January 1st until they go back, which for some of us I think is January 8th or 9th, they're sitting around the house going, I'm bored. I want to do something. I want to go somewhere. So this is the perfect time.
Kelly, thank you for saying that.
Yes.
Because families, Nashvillians, there's something for you at the museum. We have programming every weekend. So throughout the month of January, whether you are, the first Saturdays is a fam jam. So if you have itty bitties 5 and under, it is the perfect 45 minutes of engaging and playing instruments. There is a musical, and if you haven't done fam jam, it's a must.
That's awesome.
There's musical petting zoos. There's arts activities, because we talk about country music. It works across dimensions of arts, the articulation and costuming, the stained glass here at the Ryman. It's all part of family programming, including dance. So come check it out.
If you're a Swiftie too, the Taylor Swift Education Center is pretty cool.
The Taylor Swift Education Center is very cool. We even have friendship bracelet making workshops. We have multiple artifacts of Taylor's on display all the time. And our most famous program is called Words and Music, which teaches songwriting, and there are opportunities there too.
So in the last 5 minutes, it really highlights why don't forget the and museum part of the Country Music Hall of Fame, because the rotunda, as amazing as it is, where all of those Hall of Famers live in infamy, I mean, not in infamy, in eternity. In eternity. Yeah. There we go. But there's so many cool things there. I mean, it's just amazing. You could go 5 times and never see everything.
That is true, and that's sort of our goal. So there is something for everyone. Even the main timeline, the exhibition that goes from the roots origins of country music to present day, it's called Sing Me Back Home. We have so many artifacts based on the good fortune of the community and people really helping us preserve history that we can change it out all of the time. So, of course, we're going to be referencing rock and roll's influence in country, but we have so many different ways we can tell the story. You can rock around the Christmas tree with Brenda Lee at the time period. You can think Jim Reeves. You can go kind of anywhere, and the good news is that there are so many ways to represent this massive story, and we're just so proud to be able to represent the creative community, represent history, and share it with people, especially at no cost for locals in January. And gosh, we encourage people to reserve tickets in advance. Again, there's a pay what you want option. It's live now. Check out the programming calendar. Everything that would be offered in our theaters or in the Taylor Swift Education Center during this time is all included with admission, which again is pay what you want, including nothing. We're so happy that we have parking this year across the street to offer folks through a partnership with our friends at PNC. The Walk of Fame Park, which is directly across the street from the museum, is offering $10 parking for locals. So let's make a day of it. Come downtown, check out the museum, walk around. The parking is good for up to 6 hours. You can spend a lot of time at the museum, a lot of time discovering downtown Nashville if you haven't. And we're just so pleased to embrace the community and provide new opportunities, Kelly, for your itty bitties.
That's awesome.
and
She's
whole
15
families.
now, Lisa.
Ooh.
She's not itty bitty anymore, but she does write songs, so she'll be there.
Okay, come on.
Yeah, love that. That's perfect.
Bill Anderson's, as far as I can see, is it still up?
It is not.
Okay.
But we love celebrating Bill all of the time, certainly a member of the Hall of Fame and in the Rotunda.
I knew it had a run. I just couldn't remember when.
Right now in the space where we often represent Hall of Fame members, we took a beat to celebrate the Thomas Hart Benton painting, which turned 50 years old. And that was that amazing American regionalist painter's final work on behalf of the museum. So when thinking of the whole story and the origins of the music, it's so fun to check that painting out and really see everything from gospel and spiritual music to mountain music to cowboy music to Black influence in music, and how that melting pot of sounds, as you were talking about with RJ, all comes together, and how Thomas Hart Benton works. There are preparatory drawings, there are sculptures, there's a million different studies in different mediums across time that resulted in that painting, and right now you can see all of his preparatory work that gets to that amazing mural in the Rotunda.
Speaking of across time, 60 years since the Hall of Fame charter, 2024 marked the 60th year, did it not?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And it's a great year at the museum, too. The museum was recognized with the National Medal of Arts this year, which is the highest honor that an arts and cultural organization or a person, usually it's a person, can receive. So we are so proud. There's only a handful of museums that we can tell that to have ever been included. And our CEO, Kyle Young, had the good fortune of going to the White House to accept this honor. And it's a career moment, but an institutional moment. This place is one of the most special museums in America, and we're so lucky it's right in our backyard, and we all get to collaborate on it together.
It's one of the coolest blocks in any city in America, because literally you have the Hall of Fame, Bridgestone Arena, Walk of Fame Park, and the Schermerhorn. I mean, my goodness, if that doesn't scream Music City, right?
We are so lucky. There's literally an angel of music on the corner of Fifth and the Walk of Fame Park across the street, all referencing and pulling us together. So it's a special block. Thanks.
Hang on to that. That should be the title of your first album, Angel of Music. Lisa Purcell is here, Executive VP, External Affairs, Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum, and earlier to talk about Roseanne Cash and Time is a Mirror, her exhibit, which is on through March of 2026. R.J. Smith, museum writer and editor, Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum. That would be Nashville, Tennessee.